how do you handle any setback? Well, here's something I've noticed with people who are incredibly successful, not just in their career, but in their health, in their life, and also in their relationships. They have an ability to see a delay, but not a denial. They don't see a denial, they see a delay. When they hear no for the moment. No, not quite now. No, this is not quite right, but come back, and it'll be a yes. So you all know the story of J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter and sent it out, and it came back, and it came back, and it came back. And every time it came back, she put it back in an envelope and sent it to someone else. When I wrote my first book, I remember sitting in my living room hearing a thud, and I knew, that's the manuscript. They don't send it back if they want it. That's in the days, was when you sent a manuscript off like that, and they would send it back. And I heard that thud about 4 times, and each time I think, no, repackage it and send it back. And now I've just written, I think, my 7th best-selling book, so I saw that as a denial. This book is not right for this publisher. This book is not right, but it's perfect for someone. There's a little suitcase called Trunky. Anyone in an airport has seen a kid with a Trunky. And yet, when that guy took Trunky onto Dragon's Den, which is the English version of Shark Tank, they pulled it, the strap over, and went, this is rubbish. This is terrible, no one's going to have this. And he said that was so cruel because it was just a prototype. I wasn't going to sell them with a broken strap, it was just a mock-up. And they laughed at me and said, nobody will buy this. And I was very hurt, but also very angry. I had that, I'll show you. And I just kept working on it. And without Dragon's Den, it's one of the major successes all across the world. The little Trunky that kids sit on as their parents pull, or they pull themselves. And so winners don't always take it all. Many, many people who are super successful heard no again and again, doors shut in their face. Someone said to Naomi Campbell, Naomi, the door is shut to black girls. He did not get on the cover of Vogue. She went, shut, I'll kick that door open. And I love that about her because she did. She went on the cover of Vogue many, 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 many times. So let's talk about you. What have you heard that you see as a denial? No. Have you been dumped? We've all been dumped. Have you been fired? I've been dumped. I've been fired. I've had manuscripts rejected. If I go on to YouTube, I can find someone who's saying something horrible about me. But I have a choice. Do I need to let that in? People that say horrible things don't know me. And most people actually are really nice. I get a few mean comments, but I have a choice. Shall I let that in or shall I let it go over my head? Shall I go, well, maybe they have a point. Perhaps what they're saying is true and it means something to them, but I don't have to let it in. I promise you, reframing a denial to a delay. My book got rejected. My proposal got rejected. I didn't get the funding. Someone didn't like my idea. They didn't like my product. I didn't get in. You just have to come back. You have to see yourself as a big, bouncy rubber ball with a bounce back factor. I'll do it next time. Think of your favorite team that lost but came back the following year. And the fans saying, you'll win next year. Think of someone who's been fired. There are many, many people who say that's just a delay. I got ill, it got right in the way of my business, but I came back. My product didn't work, but I went back and changed it, I came back. I went bankrupt, I came back. My business shut down, I came back. There are people all over the world who've come back from adversity. But people with a natural ability to succeed never take no for an answer. They don't even hear no. They hear maybe, possibly, why don't you change my mind? They just don't do no. There are people in every field, in sport, in politics, in movies, in the music business. There are billionaires who are told you will never make it. You just don't have what it takes. They said, I'll show you. What can you do? You can do exactly what they did. People who are successful leave clues. What did they do? Well, first of all, they didn't let it in. They didn't accept it. They didn't agree with it. They went, okay, you don't like me? Okay, let me go back and work on myself and show you who I am and what I've got to offer. You don't like my product? Well, let me work on it more. You don't like my book? Let me send it to someone else who does. You don't like my idea? I don't have to convince you. There's so many other people who will like it. So you must do what they did. They don't like your idea. Somebody else will. They don't like your product. Maybe you can work on it. Somebody else will. You know, many years ago I wrote a book and I gave it to a publishing house who I won't mention. and they wanted this book. And then they began to say, well, we don't like the ending. Can you change that? Absolutely. We don't like this. But they kept giving me more and more things to do. So many hoops to jump through. And then when I'd done all this, they said, actually, we don't even want it now. And I was very hurt. But I was not going to put that book in a drawer. I found an agent who said, don't worry about them. You must trust me. Because I'd found someone who said, well, I'll give you £2,000 for the book. She said, no, don't do that. Do not give your work away for £2,000. Trust me, I'll get you a great deal. I didn't want to wait a year. I was keen to have that book out. So a year later, I was putting on a talk. And she happened to call me and said, hey, that talk you're doing. I said, I've cancelled it. Nobody's coming. She said, go and give all the tickets away. I've got Google coming, HarperCollins are coming, Penguin's coming, every publishing house is coming to this talk. I went, okay, put it back on. They all turned up, including the people who'd rejected me. And when I finished the talk, Hashay came up and said, hey, we love that book. We'd like to give you more than you're asking for it, but you've got to sign now. Don't see anyone else. And I'm like, okay, they were so lovely. They gave me £130,000. I nearly gave it away for £2. But you know what happened? This publisher that was so rude said, why didn't you come and see us? How dare you? But I saw you a year ago with the same book. You didn't want it. And now you want it. And you'd give me £130,000. I went, yes, we would. I was so confused. So what's the message there? I got rejected. My work got rejected. And then a year later, the same work was wanted by the same person for so much more money. It was the same work. But I had an agent selling it, not me. That book became a massive bestseller. I got a television show out of that book. I was on another show. I was on Super Size, Super Skinny. Did really well. I was on Celebrity Fit Club, all from that book, which was rejected again and again. But a year later, the same book wasn't changed at all. It became a bestseller. And all I did was have faith. Do you know that The Sopranos couldn't sell? Gone with the Wind couldn't sell. Isn't that amazing that best-selling books could not sell? And all of a sudden they became stratospheric. Nothing changed except someone saw something that someone else didn't see. Someone didn't see a denial list or a delay. I need to shape this movie, give it to a different audience. And that happens so many times with toys that can't sell until someone says, let's get a different market. That little book of Calm was published, didn't even sell. Nobody bought it. It had a different name. They pulled it back, renamed it. It practically flew off the shelves. So if you have something that nobody wants, they're not denying it, they're delaying it. Go back and find someone totally different to take a look at it. Do something else. Desperate Housewives was someone who wrote about how his mother felt suicidal in the 60s at home with 3 kids. Someone said The Sopranos will never sell, it's violent, it's not funny. It's actually funny and violent. It became one of the best-selling things ever. Have faith, have belief, and go in a different direction. If you keep giving it to the same people and it's not working, go somewhere else, find someone else, do something else. Have faith. A no is no today, no at the moment, no in the current state, not quite right. Come back later, hear that, believe that, and that will become your reality. Thanks for tuning in. I wish you massive success. Never quit, never give up, never take no for an answer, and that will help you to be amazing. See you next time. Check out my next video here.